Welcome back to another deep dive. Today we're going to get a little intimate. We're looking at a biological battleground that exists right inside your chest.
Right. And it's one of those things that most people just write off.
Totally. It sits in that minor annoyance category. You eat too much pizza, you drink a little too much coffee.
You pop a chalky tablet and you just move on.
Exactly. But we're talking about something more serious today. We're talking about GER, gastroesophageal reflux disease.
And we're using some fantastic material to guide us.
We are. We're digging into a lecture from Dr. G.S. Raju's YouTube series, specifically his work on the esophagus and GERD. And I have to say, this is so much more than just heartburn.
Oh, not at all. Dr. Raju really frames this as a masterclass in the machinery of the gut.
Yeah.
We're going way past that commercial view of reflux.
We're talking rotten teeth, lung spasms.
And you know how doctors literally grade the physical damage inside your throat.
That's the part that got me, the grading. So here's our mission today. We want to understand the mechanics. What is actually happening when the stomach's contents go where they don't belong?
And how the body tries and sometimes fails to defend itself. Because Dr. Raju makes a really clear point. A little reflux is normal. GERD is when you cross a line.
A biological line in the sand.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And it really all starts with a fundamental conflict in design.
And a design conflict.
Think about it. You have two organs right next to each other. Downstairs, you have the stomach. It's basically a chemical vat.
Built like a tank.
Totally. Lined with cells designed to handle acid. It's tough.
Yeah.
But right upstream, you have the esophagus.
Which is just a transport tube.
Exactly. Dr. Raju notes its lining is resistant, but only to a point. It's not armor-plated like the stomach.
So GERD, according to Dr. Raju, isn't just acid coming up. It's when that resistance fails.
That's the key. He defines it as the backflow causing symptoms and potential damage. It's when the defense mechanism is just overtaken.
Okay, let's get into those symptoms. The classic one, of course, is heartburn. That burning feeling.
Sure. That's the acid literally irritating the lining, a chemical burn.
Yeah.
But as things escalate, you start to see mechanical failures.
Right. He talks about dysphagia. Now, when I hear that, I think of a physical blockage.
That's the common idea.
Yeah.
Dysphagia just means difficulty swallowing. But with the GERD, the cause is different. Dr. Raju explains that all that acid irritation, it doesn't just burn the tissue.
What does it do?
It messes with the wiring,
The wiring.
the neuromuscular rhythm. Swallowing isn't just gravity, it's this coordinated muscle squeeze called peristalsis.
Okay, like squeezing a tube of toothpaste?
Exactly. But if you bathe those nerves and muscles in acid all the time, they get confused. The rhythm breaks down.
So the food feels stuck, not because of a blockage, but because the conveyor belt has just stopped working properly?
It's a functional failure, and that's a huge red flag. But then there's an even more concerning one, odenophagia.
Pain on swallowing.
Yes. And Dr. Raju is very specific here. This usually means there's actual tissue destruction, an open wound, an ulcer.
So when food goes past it.
It's just massive pain.
Wow. And that's just the local damage. What really blew my mind was the geography of the reflux, how far this stuff can travel.
That's the real aha moment for a lot of people.
Sure.
The problem is in your stomach, but the symptoms are showing up in your mouth or your lungs.
Let's start with the mouth. I had never, ever connected rotten teeth to heartburn before.
It's a classic scenario Dr. Raju describes. Acid comes all the way up, pools in your mouth while you're sleeping.
And it just eats away at the enamel.
It's hydrochloric acid.
Yeah.
It dissolves teeth. So you could be doing everything right, brushing, flossing, and your dentist is just stumped.
Because you're dissolving them from the inside out.
Exactly. But it gets even more dangerous when that acid gets near the lungs.
This was the part I found genuinely scary, the mimicry.
It's a master of disguise. Dr. Raju explains that even a micro spray of acid in the airways causes an immediate spasm. The airways just clamp down.
So it looks and feels exactly like asthma.
Indistinguishable. You get adults suddenly developing asthma. They're wheezing, they're tight in the chest, but the inhalers aren't fixing the root cause.
Because the trigger is acid, not pollen.
Precisely. And if the reflux is, as Dr. Raju puts it, too much, and you actually aspirate it,
It goes deep into the lungs.
then you're looking at aspiration pneumonia, a massive, dangerous infection from inhaling your own stomach contents.
It really changes the stakes, doesn't it? This isn't just about needing an antacid.
Not at all. It's a systemic threat.
So how does a doctor actually confirm all this? Do they just look down there?
Well, the gold standard is exactly that. Looking at the scene of the crime with an upper endoscopy.
The camera down the throat?
Yep. They go down to that border crossing the gastroesophageal junction, what Dr. Raju calls the squamous columnar junction.
That's a mouthful.
It's just where the pink lining of the throat meets the red lining of the stomach. But here's the paradox. A patient can have terrible pain, really suffering, but the doctor puts the camera down and it looks perfect. Pristine.
So nothing, no damage.
Nothing visible to the naked eye.
So what happens then? Does the doctor just say it's all in their head?
Well, maybe in the old days.
Yeah.
But now we have a specific diagnosis for this. Dr. Raju calls it NERD.
NERD.
Non-erosive reflux disease.
I feel like there's a joke in there somewhere, but what does it mean?
It means the disease is real, the symptoms are real, but the damage is still microscopic. It's invisible to the standard check.
So if you can't see it, how do you prove it's there?
Dr. Raju outlines 2 ways. The first is to take a biopsy during that endoscopy.
Snip a tiny piece of tissue.
Exactly. You send it to a pathologist, and under a microscope, they can see the cells are swollen and stressed. The cells are screaming, even if the tissue looks fine.
It's like forensic evidence.
It is. But the second method is even more definitive. It's called a pH study.
Right? He described this. It sounds intense.
It's a commitment. They place a special probe in your esophagus, just above the stomach, and they leave it there.
For how long?
For 24 to 48 hours.
Wait, you walk around for 2 days with a sensor in your throat?
You do.
Yeah.
Because you need real-world data. What happens when you eat, when you sleep, when you bend over.
And what's the sensor actually measuring?
2 things. The total amount of time your esophagus is exposed to acid and the exact number of reflux episodes.
So it's literally counting the break-ins.
Perfectly put. If that sensor shows 50 reflux events, you have your diagnosis, even with a clean-looking endoscopy.
Okay, so that's the invisible side, NRED. But what happens when the defenses totally fail? When the lining actually starts to break down?
Right. Now we're moving into the world of erosions.
A polite way of saying the acid is eating away at you?
Essentially, yes. And this is where the grading system comes in. A group of experts met in Los Angeles to create a standard language for this.
The LA classification. Sounds like a movie title.
A bit less glamorous, but very practical. It's a scale from grade A to grade D.
And it's all about geometry, right? The
Yeah.
size and shape of the damage.
Exactly. Let's visualize the esophagus as a tube. Grade A is the first sign of visible damage. An erosion, a break in the lining, but it's small. Specifically, less than 5 millimeters long.
Just a tiny little scratch.
Right. Then, if that scratch gets longer, more than 5 millimeters, you've graduated to grade B.
Okay, A is small, B is long. Simple enough.
But grade C is where the geometry changes. We're not just looking at length anymore, we're looking at spread.
How far it wraps around the tube.
You got it. For grade C, the damage is starting to connect sideways. It's moving in a circumferential manner, as Dr. Raju says. It's not a full circle yet, but it's trying.
And then there's grade D, the worst case.
The worst case. Complete circumferential damage.
A ring of fire.
That's a good way to put it. The erosion goes all the way around. There's a full band of ulcerated, damaged tissue cutting across the healthy lining.
That is such a stark image. You go from microscopic stress with NRD to a tiny dot in grade A to a line in B, a partial ring in C, and then total encirclement.
It's a clear and very serious progression.
And Dr. Raju makes it clear that grade C and D, that's not just about pain anymore, is it?
No, it's about structural failure. You worry about scarring, about the tube healing so tight that it closes up. That's a stricture. And you worry about the cells mutating over time. It's a very different ballgame.
So zooming out, we've really covered a lot of ground. We went from a big meal to a classification system for internal damage.
It's a sobering path. We've seen how reflux can show up as phantom asthma, how it can ruin your teeth, and how it can be totally silent before it becomes very, very loud.
It definitely makes you think twice about just ignoring that little burn.
It does. Dr. Raju's work is a powerful reminder that symptoms are alarms. Your body is telling you the containment wall is failing.
And if you keep hitting snooze on that alarm,
you might wake up with a grade D problem, which is a graduation you really don't want to attend.
No doubt. You know, the thought that stays with me from this is how we see our bodies as static. You have a stomach, you have a throat.
Right, they just do their jobs.
But what Dr. Raju really paints is a picture of constant friction, a standoff between aggressive chemistry and protective biology.
A war of attrition.
Exactly. And the question I'm left with is, what's that tipping point? We rely on these defenses, but we don't really think about supporting them until they're already broken.
That's the real takeaway, isn't it? Maybe we should be thinking less about treating the burn and more about reinforcing the wall before the first brick even falls out.
Something to chew on, hopefully without any reflex. A huge thank you to Dr. G.S. Raju for the incredible source material.
Always a pleasure to dive in.
And thank you for listening. Pay attention to those signals, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.